On our website, you can get PDF learning materials for free. Please visit englist.me.
Clinical.
Of or relating to the examination and treatment of patients rather than theoretical or laboratory studies.
Examples:
Clinical surgery. Participate in clinical trials. She received special clinical training at the hospital.
Malaria.
A severe disease caused by a parasite that is spread by the bite of an infected mosquito.
Examples:
Malaria mosquitoes. Malaria endemic area. Many people in tropical countries die from malaria every year.
Vaccine.
A substance that is put into the body and protects them from disease by causing them to produce antibodies, equals proteins that attack harmful bacteria, viruses, etc.
Examples:
Development of vaccines. An oral vaccine. The mRNA vaccine was approved in less than a year because it did not contain the fragments of the target virus.
Fraction.
A small part or item forming a piece of a whole, the quotient of two rational numbers.
Examples:
A fractional share of the vote. A numerator in a fraction. He spent only a fraction of his earnings.
Parasite.
An organism that lives on or in another organism and benefits by deriving nutrients at the other's expense.
Examples:
Blood-sucking parasite. Parasite disease. Tapeworms are parasites that live in the intestines of humans and animals.
Awash.
Flooded or overflowing with water, typically suddenly or unexpectedly, abundant or prevalent to the extent of being overwhelming or excessive.
Examples:
Awash with cash. Awash in debt. The beach was awash with seaweed after the storm.
Advance.
To go or move forward, to develop in a positive way.
Examples:
Advance the technology. Advance a cooperative relationship. Scientific knowledge will advance significantly with the power of AI.
Omics.
A term used in various scientific disciplines, such as genomics, proteomics, and metabolomics, to refer to the large-scale analysis and understanding of biological systems and processes.
Examples:
Omics research. Omics profiling techniques. Omics data integration allows us to create a holistic view of cellular processes.
Platform.
The raised flat space close to the track at a train station where passengers get on or off the train. Technology, a computational or digital environment in which a piece of software is executed.
Examples:
An arrival platform. A digital platform for enterprise. The speaker mounted the platform and started to speak.
Genome.
The complete set or sequence of genes of a human, animal, plant, or other living things.
Examples:
Sequencing of the human genome. Genome analyses. The human genome contains approximately 3 billion chemical base pairs.
Transcript.
A written or printed version of something, especially a dictated or recorded speech, interview, or conversation, an official record of a student's coursework and grades at a school or university.
Examples:
Academic transcript. Official transcript. The court reporter was responsible for creating a transcript of the trial proceedings.
Proteome.
The entire complement of proteins that can be expressed by a genome, cell, tissue, or organism, including all of its functional forms and modifications.
Examples:
Bacterial proteome. Proteome database. Scientists are studying the human proteome to understand better how proteins work in the body.
Complexity.
The state or quality of being complicated or intricate and difficult to understand.
Examples:
Cognitive complexity. Complexity theory. The project's complexity made it difficult for the team to complete it on time.
Spite.
Feelings of anger and resentment, in spite of, also despite, a phrase that is used to indicate that something happened or exists even though there is a particular obstacle or difficulty.
Examples:
Bear spite against him. Die in spite of intensive care. He did it out of spite, to annoy me.
Rudimentary.
Relating to basic facts or principles, fundamental.
Examples:
A rudimentary plant. Rudimentary understanding. He has only a rudimentary knowledge of this topic.
Handle.
To deal with a situation, problem, or strong emotion.
Examples:
Handle a precious object. Handled the incident. We all should learn how to handle stress.
Frequent.
Happening constantly.
Examples:
Frequent absence. Frequent use. His heartaches are less frequent now.
Infect.
To affect a person, an animal, or a plant with a disease-causing organism.
Examples:
Infect other animal species. Infect a computer with a virus. Children often infect parents with this head cold.
Infection.
A condition in which pathogenic microorganisms or viruses have entered the body.
Examples:
A bacterial infection. treat the infection with antibiotics. Hospitals must meet various standards to prevent nosocomial infections.
Recipe.
A set of instructions for preparing a dish, including the ingredients and the method of cooking.
Examples.
Recipe book. Recipe collection. The recipe for the cake is passed down from generation to generation in her family.
Encode.
To convert information into a code or format suitable for storage or transmission.
Examples.
Encode data. Encode information. The software can encode and decode encrypted messages.
Antibody.
A substance produced in the blood that attacks and kills harmful bacteria, viruses, etc., to fight disease.
Examples.
Produce antibody. Antibody against bacteria. This pharmaceutical company is developing antibody drugs with fewer side effects.
Probe.
A tool used for testing or examining, especially for medical or scientific purposes, or an exploratory mission to a planet or other celestial body. Verb, to investigate, examine, or search into something.
Examples.
A lunar probe. Probe for inside information. NASA sent a probe to study the atmosphere of Jupiter.
Overcome.
To succeed in controlling or dealing with something, such as a problem or difficulty, to defeat or overwhelm someone.
Examples.
Overcome opponents. Overcome all difficulties. He tried to overcome a bad reputation and win the election.
Protein.
A molecule made up of a long chain of amino acids, which is essential for the structure and function of the body's tissues.
Examples.
Stress protein. Protein synthesis. The body needs a certain amount of protein to build and repair tissues.
Radar.
A technology that employs radio waves to locate items that cannot be seen.
Examples.
Radar air traffic control. Radar scanning. Radar systems cannot spot the submarine.
Communal.
Belonging to or used by a group rather than individuals, for common use.
Examples.
Communal swimming pool. Communal combination of funds. Communal elections were held in several European countries.
Identify.
To recognize someone or something and say or prove who or what they are.
Examples.
Identify handwriting. Identify gene sequences. I will introduce you to how to identify the leading causes of the malfunction.
Conduct.
To organize and carry out a particular activity.
Examples:
conduct a background check, conduct research. Police will conduct random breath testing for drunk driving.
Cohort:
a group of people who share a common characteristic, experience, or background and are usually studied as a single unit in research or analysis, a companion or ally.
Examples:
cohort study, business cohort. The cohort of students from the science program graduated with top honors.
Typical:
having the usual characteristics or traits of a specific group of things.
Examples:
typical leader, fairly typical symptoms. This artwork is typical of her work.
Involve:
to include or affect someone or something as a necessary part of something else.
Examples:
involve a lot of paperwork, involve a high degree of risk. The investigation involves several government agencies and is expected to take several months.
Participate:
to take part in something.
Examples:
participate fully in conversation, participate in the program. The majority of students actively participated in the college's intramural sports program.
Analyze:
to think about in depth and evaluate to discover essential features or meaning.
Examples:
analyze a chemical compound, analyze your real motives. The teacher attempted to analyze the root cause of our mistake.
Predict:
to state beforehand that something will happen in the future, mainly based on knowledge or experience.
Examples:
predict the future, predict when she will arrive. It's notoriously challenging to predict birth rates.
Relative:
considered and evaluated through comparison with something else.
Examples:
a remote relative, relative factors. Most countries prohibit sexual activity between certain close relatives.
Locate:
to specify or determine the exact position of someone or something.
Examples:
locate a missing pet, locate a tumor. The robot can accurately locate construction material.
Consistent:
always behaving or happening in the same way, or having the same thoughts, standards, etc.
Examples:
do on a consistent basis, get consistent results. You are not consistent in your behavior.
Essentially:
relating to the essential features or concepts of anything.
Examples:
essentially correct, become essentially same. Essentially, a society is an organism.
Collapse.
To fall down or give way suddenly, often after breaking apart.
Examples:
The stock market collapsed. Ready to collapse. The roof finally collapsed after 3 days and 3 nights of heavy snowfall.
Exciting.
Causing a lot of interest or excitement.
Examples:
Exciting football player. Exciting news. The findings of the experiment were both exciting and unexpected.
Experiment.
The scientific test conducted to observe what happens and gain new knowledge.
Examples:
Experiment design. Series of experiments. His experiments showed highly positive results.
Innovative.
Introducing or using new methods, ideas, etc.
Examples:
Use of innovative technology. Stylistically innovative works. The Prime Minister stressed the need to create innovative industries.
Assemble.
To collect in one place as a single group.
Examples:
Assemble your colleagues. Assemble a jigsaw puzzle. The president began to assemble an army.
Span.
The entire length of something, such as time or space from beginning to end, the amount of space that something covers.
Examples:
The span of a bird's wings. The average lifespan. He slightly modified the span of training because it was just before a match.
Variable.
Likely to change or very often, noun, a symbol, like X or Y, that is used in mathematical or logical expressions to represent a value that may be changed.
Examples:
A variable species. A dependent variable. Rainfall in the tropics is highly variable.
Intense.
Especially of a feeling, very strong, extremely sharp or severe.
Examples:
Intense heat. Develop intense itching. That statement by the Prime Minister drew intense international criticism.
Intelligence.
The ability to learn, comprehend, or make judgments or conclusions based on reasons.
Examples:
An intelligence test. Field of artificial intelligence. In terms of intelligence, he was head and shoulders above his classmates.
Prioritize.
To assign a higher level of importance to something compared to other things.
Examples:
Prioritize tasks. Prioritize people over cars. The organization prioritized the needs of the community in its decision-making.
Synthesize.
To combine a substance to make a more complex product or compound.
Examples:
Synthesize molecules. Synthesize information. The spider has the ability to synthesize multiple different silk proteins.
Lab.
A workplace for the conduct of scientific research, a laboratory.
Examples:
Lab instrument. Medical lab. The Prime Minister will pay a courtesy visit to the Nobel laureate's lab.
Recreate.
To make something that existed previously happen or appear to exist again.
Examples:
Recreate a single country. Recreate the feeling of the 1920s. She recreated the atmosphere of the pre-war age with her stage setting.
Chip.
A small fragment of something broken off from the whole, a long and thin piece of potato fried in oil or fat.
Examples:
A chip of wood. I don't care a chip. We can use this campaign as a bargaining chip in the negotiations.
Slide.
To move or cause to move smoothly along a surface without interruption.
Examples:
Slide a card across the table. Slide a glance. If necessary, you can slide the front seats forward.
Incredible.
Unbelievable, extremely large.
Examples:
Incredible amount. At incredible speed. Her response revealed incredible idiocy.
Simultaneously.
At the same time.
Examples:
Simultaneously affected. Take several inputs simultaneously. Two students answered the teacher's question simultaneously.
Synergy.
The interaction of elements that, when combined, produce a total effect that is greater than the sum of the individual elements.
Examples:
Synergy collaboration. Synergy between businesses. The new software program was designed to increase productivity by promoting employee synergy.
Concentration.
The ability to focus all your time and energy on one thing without thinking about anything else.
Examples:
Concentration of armaments. His research area of concentration. This exam requires excellent concentration to pass.
Isolation.
The condition of being alone or lonely, the act or state of separation between persons or groups.
Examples:
Isolation booth. The country's isolation. That incident led to his isolation.
Adequate.
Enough, acceptable, satisfactory for a particular purpose or need.
Examples:
Adequate parking facilities. provide adequate funding. This argument is still not adequate.
Definition:
a concise explanation of the meaning of a word, phrase, or symbol.
Examples:
a precise definition. The definition of a word. Parallel lines are, by definition, lines on the same plane that never cross.
Breakthrough:
a sudden, dramatic, and important discovery or development that helps to improve a situation or provide an answer to a problem.
Examples:
breakthrough in the negotiations. Breakthrough discovery. A technique called deep learning has led to breakthroughs in AI.
Vaccinate:
to treat with a vaccine, usually by injection, to produce immunity against a disease.
Examples:
vaccinate against scarlet fever. Vaccinate every year. The nurse vaccinated the children in the school.
Faith:
complete trust in something or someone's ability or knowledge, a strong belief in religion, divine power, etc.
Examples:
religious faith. Faith in government. He kept his robust faith in his company.
Process:
a series of actions or operations performed to achieve a particular outcome or goal, a systematic procedure or approach used to accomplish a specific task or objective, a method of treating milk to make it suitable for consumption or use in other dairy products.
Examples:
process improvement. Decision-making process. The process for applying for a visa can be lengthy and complicated.
Antigen:
a substance that triggers the body's immune response, equals the reaction for fighting infections, for defending the body, especially by producing antibodies, equals proteins that identify and attack harmful bacteria, viruses, etc.
Examples:
detect antigen. Viral antigen. Antigen testing is less accurate than PCR testing, but easier to perform.
Partnership:
the state of a cooperative relationship between people or groups, especially in business.
Examples:
partnership across the Atlantic. Establish a partnership. The military partnership between the two countries created tension in the international community.
Refer:
to direct someone's attention, thoughts, or questions to another source or person, to mention, cite, or allude to something as evidence or support.
Examples:
refer to a book. Refer to a map. Please refer to the instruction manual for further assistance.
Sideways:
towards or from the side, with one side forward or to the front, adjective, of movement, at an angle.
Examples:
fall sideways. A sideways market. She glanced sideways at the conversation of the boy she was interested in.
Collaboration.
The act or situation of working together to create or produce something.
Examples:
Collaboration between companies. Collaboration platform. The partnership program requires a mutual collaboration between both agencies.
Contrast.
To put in opposition to show or emphasize differences.
Examples:
Contrast with a decade ago. Contrast two things. It's intriguing to compare and contrast the two authors.
Strength.
The quality or state of being physically, or sometimes mentally, strong.
Examples:
Strength of the economy. Muscular strength. Health and strength are, above all, gold.
Develop.
To grow or expand, to improve or refine through a process of progress and refinement, often to achieve greater sophistication or complexity, to elaborate or add detail to something that is in the process of being created.
Examples:
Develop a strategy. Develop a skill. We must develop a new system to streamline our workflow and increase efficiency.
Burden.
A duty, responsibility, etc. that is oppressive or worrisome, a load, typically a heavy one that is difficult to carry.
Examples:
Carry a burden. Burden of disease. That car has a low environmental burden. Disease. A disorder or illness that affects the body or mind, often characterized by specific symptoms or abnormal functioning of organs or systems.
Examples:
Disease prevention. Disease control. The doctor diagnosed him with a rare disease that had no known cure. Boundary. A real or imaginary line that marks the limit or extent of something and separates it from other things or places. Examples: Geographical boundary. The boundary between reality and fantasy. He wandered the boundary between life and death by gunfire. Mention. To speak or write about something or someone briefly. Examples: Mention name. Mention in a report. I mentioned to him that I had seen his sister at the grocery store earlier that day. Estimate. To guess or calculate the cost, the size, value, etc. of something. Examples: Estimate of fair value. Estimate this chicken to weigh 3 pounds. We estimated the season's total trade deficit at $50 billion. Economics. The branch of social science that deals with the production, consumption, and transfer of goods and services. Examples: Welfare economics. Economics professor. His class will cover an introduction to agricultural economics.
Thrive.
To grow vigorously, to make steady progress.
Examples:
Thrive in a society. Thrive on pressure. Without investment, a business cannot thrive.